Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we have a super fun episode. Welcome to Megaton Man Mondays, Don Simpson's amazing breakthrough comic book from 1984 from Kitchen Sink Comics. A fun comedy comic, superhero farce, amazing art, fun story, cracks me up every time. Every time. It's the first time I read it. Anyway, cannot wait to share it with you guys. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Okay, so if you are a fan of my channel or know me personally, you know I'm a big Don Simpson fan. I love his stuff. Although I feel like I've become a bigger Don Simpson fan, especially since starting my channel. He was sort of in my periphery. I remember seeing the image of Megaton Man and loving the design, the aesthetic, the art, and not really ever reading a story with him or seeing him, an issue of Megaton Man in the wild. You know, it came out when I was pretty young and not really, I didn't have any access to indie comics that much. I was aware of him through a pamphlet, New Age comics, some anthology thing that I've actually done an episode on. But anyway, so I always liked the character, liked the art, but never really had much access to Megaton Man or Don Simpson comic books until Splitting Image, that great parody comic he did of, the formation of Image Comics. I also covered that, so look for that in my backlog if you are interested. And he's great at comedy and satire, but he has a great classic superhero style at the same time. So it makes it a lot of fun. Sometimes, I think this definitely falls into the category of independent, the indie comics explosion of the 80s. Don Simpson self-publishing, basically. Megaton Man, although I guess Kitchen Sink is publishing it. 10 issues. It would go on in other iterations. I think there was a follow-up series that I guess I'm going to have to cover after this. Ordinary Heroes or something. Anyway, forgive me for not knowing, but we're talking about Megaton Man #1 today, the origin issue. Don is actually, I predict that 2023 will be the year of Don Simpson because Don is getting ready, I think, proofreading the new Megaton Man collection coming from Fantagraphics. That's going to be amazing. It's going to collect for the first time a Megaton Man omnibus that we totally need. And the best thing about it is, in my opinion, is it's going to be printed in black and white. And it gets to showcase all this beautiful art that we're going to look at. So I'm really looking super forward to that coming out, I think, in 2023. And so it'd be kind of fun to go over the individual issues, and we'll do Megaton Man Mondays leading up to that to help ring in the year of Don Simpson and keep the momentum going. In addition to Megaton Man Omnibus, I swear to God, we're getting into this, so be patient, people. Don is also finishing up the long-awaited 1963 annual that Don's arch nemesis, Alan Moore, started many years ago in 1963. The series that was supposed to end in an annual. Don Simpson was the letterer, and it never saw the light of day. Jim Lee was supposed to draw it and all this stuff. It's a great, crazy story. But anyway, Don Simpson is taking it upon himself to finish it as another FU to Alan Moore. I love Don Simpson's FUs to other creators. I was thinking Don Simpson, so the plan is to release the Megaton Man Omnibus. Then he's going to release the 1963 Lost Annual. And then it's going to lead into more Megaton Man. So how amazing is that? So I would like to have, this is, because I'm always throwing out my fantasy scenarios sometimes during these videos. And Don, if you could include a new rogues gallery, because I was thinking your personal rogues gallery is Alan Moore, J.K. Rowling, Rob Liefeld. I'm sure there's more. If I think about it, help me if you want to comment and let me know who else would be in your rogues gallery. I think that is such a great start. You have reason to have beefs with all of them. So I just think that would be funny. I'm dying to see your versions of them. So Don Simpson is such a great artist. And I did a great interview with Don, and we're gonna have to follow it up because I have every day I have a new question or something I forget, I want to ask you. So we're gonna follow it up, kids. One of my most fun conversations, also in my backlog. But Don's very much into the Bern Hogarth school of proper anatomy. If you see his current art, it's evolved so much since this. This is 1984. This is freaking yikes. Oh my God, 38 years ago. So, he's a young, fresh artist. It definitely has sort of some of that indie feel to it, with the finish. And I feel like we're going to see the art evolve over the course of this series too. But there's a lot of more noodling and feathering, and his style, especially now, is a lot more clean and open. I've colored a lot of his works, probably to Don's horror. I mean, if you've seen my coloring, it's very garish and bright, but Don's art is very fun to color. He's threw out the idea of maybe doing a 1963 coloring book. I am all for that. People love coloring Don's art. Not all of them color them nearly as well as I do, but some of them are pretty good. Here's the dramatis personae of the characters in the book. I love it. It's very much a parody, I guess. There's a lot of different parodies going on, as you'll see. Don's strength is humor when it comes to writing, and he constantly cracks me up. But it's weird because there's so this is a Superman parody, even though I always thought he kind of looked like Cyclops, but and he's got this roided out physique, and it's fun because we get this Silver Age homage with the cover here, and then we got this sort of, it's funny because this is pre-Image, but this very much looks an Image sort of inspired Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee sort of roided up character, and I freaking love it. I think Don Simpson is possibly kind of psychic. I feel like he did predict certain trends. He's an oracle or something. I don't know, whatever. And then he did this great Megaton Man stuff, and then did some stuff with Image. Then there was the Comics Implosion, and then he disappeared and went and sold Amway or something for 30 years. And now he's back with Megaton Man, and we are so happy he's back. Oh, I was noticing on the cover, this almost looks like the Watchmen happy face. And I think when you relaunch Megaton Man, you have to further troll Alan Moore and do the pull away view with this button with the blood stain on it, the happy face. And then of course it reveals to be Megaton Man. And the hilarity ensues. I mean, your take on Watchmen would be the cat's pajamas, don't you think, Don Simpson? So you got this Jimmy Olsen, who's giving me Daredevil vibes there a little bit. Then you got the Lois Lane, hilarious. He lampoons and just does great farce and send up and satire, and it just nails it. And I love the President of the United States as Orson Welles, and he needs to come back or something. I had a thought earlier when I was reading this. First time I ever read it, can you believe it? And I love it so much. It's so good. I knew it was going to be good, and I just really love it a lot. There's these Fantastic Four doppelgangers, and the art is so fun. The inking is so good and lush, and the lines are beautiful. I love Yarn Man. He cracks me up. Don is using a lot of zip. I feel there might be and I feel this is not only a sort of I don't want to say mistake, but a sign of a fresher or more novice artist, maybe a little bit too much more is more, maybe a few less gimmicks, too many effects or whatever. There's some examples coming up that I'll point out. I love this too. This looks very much like the Baxter Building, but the zips are fun, and it's funny because I mean he's an amazingly proficient artist, and all the storytelling and the what do you call it, perspective, anatomy, and stuff is totally there. I feel it's still a little quirky and loose, and a little him still finding his artistic styles, which will evolve. It reminds me, and I feel like I've said this before, but a little bit of early, like, Alan Moore on Captain Britain, which is ironic, you know, written by Alan Moore, and Don Simpson's arch nemesis. I mean, who doesn't want to see Don Simpson and Megaton Man team up against J.K. Rowling, Alan Moore, Rob Liefeld? And you're saying, like, why Rob Liefeld, right? Well, if you saw Don Simpson's post about Rob Liefeld's homage cover to himself, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't, you know, no tea, no shade, no scandal here. So I'm just here to talk about art and comics that I love so much. Look at all this beautiful art. I love it. Going heavy with the 9-panel grids. I feel like it's funny because I always think, you know, this is somebody who's very interested in telling the comic book story that they're interested in telling, you know. And I also thought it was kind of interesting how, like, where is your big credit, Don Simpson? It's like you signed it. Here's your signature. That's great. But it's like named by Brian Gable, editor and publisher Dennis Kitchen, art director Peter Poplawski, colorist Ray Fehrenbach, additional material Michael Kazala, and associate editor Ferndale Carol Quitmeyer, Ferndale, Michigan. So where's the big by Don Simpson? I mean, you're a credit whore. I know you are. I hope you learn your lesson. I can't wait to get to issue 2, and I need bigger credits for you. But this coloring is great. It is fantastic. I love it. I love the flat colors. I was going to say, you know, it's kind of, you know, telltale of like an indie good book too, just the way it's rendered. And I love that this character is like basically Jerry Lewis. Oh, and they also make, like, Don, I say they. He's not non-binary, I don't think. This is so funny because it's like Clark Kent, how he wears the glasses, and like Megaton Man doesn't even take off his mask when he's in his civilian identity, which is cracking me up. I wonder if we ever get to see him. See, there's this real balance. Like, I feel like Don has definitely gotten more into like more realistic looking characters. But like in the beginning of this, they look very cartoonish, right? So it's like you're getting more like indie sort of like Arcrum vibes and stuff. The body here is crazy. First of all, Megaton Man's, you know, anatomy is just like all over the place and like hysterical. But I feel like, and we'll get there, you know what I mean? I don't know how we'll get there. Well, I guess as long as I have Megaton Man stuff to cover and there's a Monday, then we'll get there. But I don't know. Like, just the way he draws him now is like way differently. Like, you wouldn't have those teeny tiny, like skinny little ankles and stuff. But I love this so much, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing the omnibus coming out from Fantagraphics. Like, make sure you tell your local comic book shop that you want a copy of that, because I feel like that's going to be one of those things that they're not going to order a whole lot more than what is ordered, and if you miss out, you're going to miss out, and it's going to be like one of those outrageously priced omnibus buses that, you know, just like are unattainable, and you'll cry. Like, I can't wait to see this art in black and white. Don scanned it himself from the original art, and thank God he had the presence of mind to keep it after all these years. So I think that it's also giving me like 2 wishes in one, like, because it's the next best thing. I think we're gonna get to like an artist edition with this material. So I can't wait to see like certain panels like this obvious duo shade here. You know, like when I was first reading this, I thought, like, is it too much? Like, you know, I feel like if you use something like duo shade, unless you're doing it something, I mean, Don's gonna kill me for the comparison. Not saying that they're not BFFs, but, you know, like John Byrne using duo shade and Namor, it was like consistent on every page, and you don't really have that on every page here. Maybe not every page, but I feel like, is it too much to use it in like you know, 9 of 11 panels. And is it too much to have 11 panels on one page? I mean, it's storytelling, right? I love the breaking of the page here. I feel like this was, you know, revolutionary. I love his costume. I mean, I know it's very classic superhero. And, you know, like I said, there's a lot of parody, satire, and farce going on. Like the Lois Lane character just having a penchant for falling out of windows. Basically, to give Megaton Man, the man of molecules, a reason to save her. I love the storytelling in this. There's like a lot of pages with multiple panels, and it, like I said, it sort of ties this classic superhero elements very much into a, you know, Sunday Funnies cartoon strip kind of vibe at the same time. And I'm also getting like a little Ralph Bakshi-ish. Remember when he did like that superhero cartoon? So much fun. Oh yeah, totally that. Do you like Ralph? This killed me so much. This is hysterical. Obviously, Doonesbury. I mean, great lampoon here. Don looks just like Doonesbury, and I hated it for every reason. I hated Doonesbury. If I wanted to read a novel, I would read a novel and not look at a cartoon. It's like way too many words. Like, isn't that crazy? And that's like totally Doonesbury. And I just thought it was kind of genius. Like sort of parodying Doonesbury within a comic book, but it's like Doonesbury is sort of satiring what's actually the events of what's happening in the comic at the same time. I mean, it's kind of nuts, right? Like, that's just like crazy out there. And now, because I just always want everything to be huge and epic and big, but don't you see like the potential for like, I don't know, like, God, I mean, James Gunn would do such a great job with these characters, I feel. Like, you know, I just, like, they need to have, like, very, like, authentic looking costumes to work well. And it's funny because seeing this I love seeing this because Don letters this himself, and he's an amazing letterer and inker. Very proficient at, like, every aspect of everything he does. A draftsman. I'm gonna start rapping. How do you like that? Don, you've inspired me to rap because you're so dandy. I mean, what rhymes with dandy? Handy, Mandy, Pandy, Randy. I didn't want to go there, but anyway, Randy Don Simpson. No, we'll stick with Dandy. But is that how you signed a certain other comic book that you did? That should have been your little Stanley affirmation there. Anyway, that S looks very much like I feel like he drew this character recently. If you follow him on Facebook, like, it's totally worth it. Constantly posting like you know, works in progress and like convention commissions and stuff like that. Now this character is totally crazy. I love him so much. Behold the Contraptoid. This is so cool. This is like indie comics at its finest. But such a marriage of like somebody so cool and just like competent with their art. But this, I don't know, just like the use of zips here is just killing me down. I love it so much. The screams on this, like, it's like Max Headroom meets, I don't know, like everything horrible Rob Liefeld brought to X-Force, but amazing at the same time. Once again, Don's arch enemas. Enemas. Don's arch enemas. I know you're going to be with me on this train. Don Simpson's arch enemas. Because then it makes it, like, even worse. I feel like you would be on board with that humor, Don. Not to put words in your mouth, like enema or anything. Yarn Man is hysterical. I thought he would be bigger, but there was this, like, panel where they're standing next to each other, and it's just so good all over the place. I don't know. I love it. And this, oh yeah, this was, like, I love this. Like, this is, like, your Frank Miller thing happening here. I mean, there's a lot of different, conflicting, like, great use of, like, zipatones happening here. And it's so weird because I feel like this page stands out from the rest of the book as being like sort of very different. But I think that that might be intentional because it's very like, I mean, it's Orson Welles, the president of the United States. And then this cheap ass Xerox copy of the White House with like a zipatone thrown over it. Am I correct there, Don? I don't know. Either way, the effect is amazing. Jerry Lewis, hysterical. I mean, what was Jerry Lewis supposed to be? Like, what is that character? The origin of Megaton Man. How great is, what do you call it? Now that would, here's a fun project. I mean, Don SIMPSON, one of the last great hand letterers, right? He like hand lettering the entirety of 1963, and it looks amazing. Like, it's kind of annoying to watch him like, ink, like it just flows out of his hand like magic. I wonder if his lettering is the same way. I hope it's more labored because, I mean, it just looks perfect. I would love to see, this is like the kind of lettering that Eric Larson like loves, I feel, for like Savage Dragon. And it has like that very like 70s Marvel kind of vibe happening. And I think that it would be amazing to have do a project with Don and let him hand letter a dragon or something just for shits and giggles, right? Why not? Now, this was so weird, but this put a lot into perspective for me because I've been thinking about like the importance of superhero origins, and maybe they're conflated. Maybe the origins aren't that important, but I love this mega mash of origins here. Like, any freaking origin story you can think of is basically the impetus of like Megaton Man here. It was just killing me. Like, he gets bit by something radioactive. He's a visitor from another planet. He's raised by a lost tribe of intelligent kangaroos. But then he's still kind of a fuck up at the end of the day, right? I don't know. But the art is just so good. I feel very, you know, like sort of, it's weird because, you know, a lot of this stuff is giving me like very underground sort of indie vibes, and just knowing the evolution of Don's art would become very much more polished and just like very straightforward, like not a lot of this at all. You know, like, I feel like, and I think I even said that to him in my exclusive chat with Don SIMPSON, by the way, that I like Megaton Man, and I think he works well when he's the only one with the exaggerated anatomy. But then I kind of like the quirkiness of all of it. I love it all. I just love it all, guys. Like, look how fun this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 panels. This was kind of weird. Like, I didn't understand like some of it, and you can tell because, you know, it's like one of your first solo comics. Like, I can't even imagine, you know, the amount of work that went into this and how great it is. But sometimes it's a little wonky, you know, like I don't understand exactly what happened there, but I know you think I'm an idiot, Don, but I don't care, whatever. Great silhouette panel there, love that. Did something like that recently in 1963, coming soon from Don SIMPSON. When else? 2023. Cannot wait. I'm telling you, it is the year of Don SIMPSON 2023, so get in on the ground floor. Ooh, ironic. Pre 9/11. Anyway, I mean, whatever. You can put those kind of predictions anywhere you want to. And just like that, we're at the end. Like, I hope that didn't bore the shit out of you. I wish I could order this Megaton Man merchandise. Like, look how cool this t-shirt is. Love it so much. Don SIMPSON, get on board, people. It's going to be the year of 2023. You need that Megaton Man omnibus, which is going to be gorgeous, filled with impeccable scans of the original black and white art, which I cannot wait to drink in the detail of that, because I'm sure, you know, I don't know how well this was printed. It seems like it was pretty good, especially for the time. It looks like a lot of the little like feathery lines showed up and stuff, but we shall see, comparatively speaking, when that gorgeous omnibus comes out. So thank you for for sticking around for the inaugural episode of Megaton Man Mondays. We'll see if we can keep this rolling. Cannot wait to get to issue 2. Got like some other fun stuff. Maybe we'll get Don on the horn again so we can chat. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit like, and I will bring you more soon.